Think about those moments when a seemingly impossible goal actually gets achieved. It's rarely a slow, gentle climb, is it?
No, definitely not. It
Yeah.
often feels more like an all-out surge of activity.
Exactly. And today, we're plunging into that very idea. Massive action.
Hmm.
Imagine trying to build a tower so tall it scrapes the sky. You wouldn't get there by placing one block a day.
Not a chance. You'd need, well, a relentless, almost overwhelming influx of bricks.
Laid with intention, too. That's the essence we're going to unpack.
Yeah, and you've flagged some really interesting material that dives into this, particularly how this concept of just uh, doing a lot can be the key.
Especially when facing obstacles like in sales, which we'll get to.
Right. And for listeners keen on getting to the heart of things quickly, this deep dive should really give a powerful understanding, how sheer volume of focused effort can drive remarkable results.
So let's get straight to it. What is massive action, really? Beyond just, working hard.
Okay, yeah, let's break that down. It's not just putting in more hours. It's about a disproportionate level of action
Disproportionate, I'd like that.
and consistently applied towards your goals.
It's like trying to learn a language, maybe. An hour a week on an app. Okay, you'll learn some words,
Sure, some basics.
but real fluency, that comes from immersing yourself daily, right? Speaking whenever you can, actively engaging in a big way.
That daily, intense engagement, that's the spirit of massive action.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is why this approach can be so effective. It's not just more shots on goal means more scores statistically.
Right, it's more than just probability. The sheer volume of action often creates, unforeseen opportunities.
Unforeseen opportunities, how so?
Think of it like a swarm of bees finding a flower patch, more bees exploring a wider area. Well, there's a higher chance they stumble upon resources you just wouldn't have found with a more limited search.
Ah, that's a great point. So the activity itself sort of generates new pathways.
It can, yeah, and it definitely accelerates the timeline, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When you're consistently applying significant effort, you're basically compressing the time it takes to see results.
Like watering a plant daily versus weekly, it grows faster.
Good one. Or think of a new business launching. A slow, cautious approach might mean gradual growth, maybe,
Yeah, very slow.
but a burst of widespread marketing outreach that can create a much faster influx of customers and feedback.
Absolutely. And that rapid feedback loop is another huge benefit.
Right, the learning aspect.
Yeah, the more you act, the more data you gather. So the quicker you learn what's working and, crucially, what isn't.
It's like a scientist running tons of experiments really fast.
Exactly. Each trial gives valuable info for the next one. Much faster refinement and discovery than a slow, drawn-out process,
Yeah.
like showing drawings to lots of people to see which ones they actually like.
Okay, so massive benefits. But let's be realistic. This intense level of activity isn't without its challenges, right? Risks.
Oh, for sure. One of the most talked about is just getting tired,
Mhm.
burnout.
Yeah, you can't maintain an all-out sprint indefinitely, like running laps forever. Not happening.
Precisely. And the psychological impact of just relentless action is significant.
Mm.
If you're constantly pushing without recovery,
Your motivation just tanks.
right, enthusiasm dwindles. It undermines the long-term effort. It's not just physical exhaustion, it's mental fatigue too.
And there's also the danger of just doing the wrong things a lot. Amplifying flawed strategies.
That's a big one. If you're taking massive action in the wrong direction.
You're just getting to the wrong place faster, like baking a cake over and over without flour. Doesn't matter how many times you do it.
Exactly. More digging in the wrong spot just leaves you more exhausted and further from your goal.
What's also critical, I think, is the potential for missing vital information in the rush.
Yeah, ignoring feedback almost.
Right. In the rush to execute, you might overlook crucial feedback or subtle cues that could help you adjust.
Like building a wobbly block tower higher and higher without listening when someone says it's leaning.
Or a chef frantically preparing dishes without tasting them. Speed isn't quality.
Very true.
We see this play out, though. Think of a startup trying to gain market share. If they just launch and hope, could take ages.
Or never happen.
But if they take massive action, aggressive marketing, widespread demos, like that new ice cream shop example, posters everywhere, sampling, a mascot even.
Right, they significantly boost their visibility and chances of rapid adoption. Big difference.
Okay, so we've looked at the broad strokes of massive action. Benefits, risks. Now let's get specific. What about a context where resistance is, well, expected? Sales.
Yeah, yes. sales and the inevitable no. How does this principle help navigate that?
Well, rejection is almost part of the job description in sales, isn't it?
It often feels that way.
What's interesting is how massive action reframes those no's. As the sources point out, Grant Cardone really emphasizes persistence here.
Right, it's key. It's not just about getting more yeses eventually.
It's about wearing down the resistance almost, like pushing a swing higher and higher. It takes repeated effort.
Or like trying to start a stubborn engine. One or two tries might not do it, but repeated, persistent attempts. Eventually it catches.
And the beauty of this sheer volume of outreach is the increased probability of turning an initial no into a maybe, right?
Exactly. Or even a yes down the line. The more interactions you have.
The more chances you get to address concerns, build trust, show value.
It's like repeatedly showing someone a compelling piece of evidence. Eventually, their skepticism might just erode, like explaining how delicious your snack is until they agree to trade.
Right. And by casting a wider net, reaching out to way more potential clients, you dramatically increase your chances of finding the right fit.
The ones who genuinely need what you're offering.
It's like casting more fishing lines to catch more fish, or panning for gold, sift through more dirt, better odds of finding nuggets.
And there's a fascinating psychological aspect too. Confidence building.
How so?
Well, each time you face rejection and you just keep going, you build resilience, confidence.
Like getting back on a bike after falling.
Exactly. It's like a muscle. The more you work through the discomfort, the stronger it gets. Those initial no's become, less impactful over time.
Okay, but we need to tread carefully here. There's definitely a line.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Between persistent and just. Annoying.
Yeah.
Intrusive.
Yeah. Continuously pushing after a clear, firm no that can really damage your reputation, alienate people.
Totally. It's crucial to develop discernment, knowing when to keep going and when to just gracefully move on.
And not wasting time on people who just aren't interested.
Right. Not every prospect is a good use of your time and energy.
And the emotional toll of constant rejection, that can't be ignored either. Need to stay positive somehow.
Yeah, vital to have strategies for staying motivated. Avoid getting bogged down by just the sheer number of no's.
Like that example of the girl selling cookies door to door, many rejections.
But eventually finds buyers. It's that persistent effort, that massive action that breaks through.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears again. What about something more personal, like learning and improving our own skills?
Ah, yes. In this area, massive action translates to, consistent, dedicated practice, an active pursuit of knowledge.
Not just passively consuming info.
No, definitely not. You need to actively engage with it, apply it, seek out growth opportunities. Think of learning a complex video game to become a pro.
You got to play it a lot.
Right. Watching videos isn't enough. Requires countless hours of practice, repetition, refining every move.
And the benefits of that intense engagement seem pretty profound. It's the fastest route to actually becoming an expert, right?
Seems like it. The more you immerse yourself in a subject or skill, the deeper your understanding, the greater your proficiency. Like a musician practicing daily.
Yeah, that daily practice leads to mastery over time.
Moreover, in today's world, things change so fast. A commitment to continuous learning through massive action is crucial just to stay relevant.
Keeping up with new information, new tech, like phone apps constantly updating.
Exactly. New information, new technologies emerge constantly. Actively seeking them out is essential to stay ahead. If you don't learn the new features, you fall behind quick.
And that feeling of competence you get from dedicated learning, that feels more action, doesn't it?
It really does. The more you know and can do, the more confident you become. Creates a positive cycle of growth, like feeling ready for a test after studying really hard.
Okay, but
Yes.
are there risks here too? Just taking massive action in learning.
Well, yeah, simply taking massive action without focused direction. That can be inefficient.
Like reading about swimming, but never actually getting in the pool.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
You might accumulate a lot of superficial knowledge without truly mastering any one area. Like browsing endless articles online without deeply engaging.
Right. That's a key distinction. And there's also the risk of just getting overwhelmed. Too much information at once.
Totally. It's often better to focus your efforts, master core principles before trying to absorb everything simultaneously. Learn one thing well first.
And ultimately, knowledge needs application to stick, right? You can forget what you learned if you don't use it.
Absolutely. Consistent practice, real-world use. Essential for long-term retention. Reading a textbook cover to cover is one thing.
But if you don't apply it, it fades.
Exactly.
The story of a young artist improving dramatically through daily drawing and learning really hits this home, that massive, consistent effort.
Yeah, that's a great illustration. Now, what about another vital area? Building relationships.
Ah, relationships,
Uh,
both personal and professional.
yeah,
This needs massive action too.
seems so. Cultivating strong, meaningful connections requires consistent effort. Reaching out, nurturing bonds, staying engaged,
It's not a one-time thing.
definitely not. It's an ongoing investment of time and energy, like needing to spend time with new friends to actually build the friendship.
Or tending a garden, like you said, regular watering, weeding, care.
Right. And one of the main benefits of this consistent engagement is building trust.
Makes sense. Regular positive interactions build credibility, deepen connections over time.
And those strong relationships can unlock a ton of opportunities. Collaborations, referrals, advice.
Your network becomes a powerful resource, a support system.
Exactly. Having that robust network provides crucial support during tough times. Knowing you have people to turn to, that
Yeah.
can make all the difference.
Okay, but pitfalls here too, surely. Can you take too much action in relationships?
Oh, definitely. Being too pushy or needy, bombarding people with constant communication, always asking for favors.
Yes. That can quickly strain things. Need to give people space.
Exactly. Finding a balance, respecting boundaries and time. Nobody likes feeling constantly pursued or, used.
And trying to maintain too many superficial connections, you spread yourself too thin.
Right. Prevents you from investing deeply in the relationships that truly matter.
Also, maybe attracting the wrong kind of relationships if you just connect with everyone indiscriminately.
That's a risk. Might lead to associations that aren't beneficial, maybe even negative. Got to be mindful of the quality of connections.
That example of the baker building customer relationships, offering samples, chatting at local events, that feels like positive, massive action.
Yeah, consistently engaging with the community, building that rapport.
Okay, now let's connect massive action to something Grant Cardone is famous for, setting huge goals. The 10X rule. How does that fit in?
Right, the 10X rule. The core idea is, well, by setting targets 10 times bigger than what you think you want, or maybe even what seems realistic.
You basically force yourself to take way more action than you otherwise would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think back to that skyscraper analogy, aiming for a 10-story building versus a 100-story one.
Totally different level of activity required. Exponentially larger, like aiming for the world's tallest Lego tower, demands way more effort and bricks.
And when you combine that magnitude of goal with massive action, the potential for breakthrough achievements just goes way up.
You often achieve far more than you initially thought possible, just because you're operating at such a higher level.
Plus, those really ambitious goals can be incredibly powerful motivators, right?
Yeah, they create an exciting vision, fuels your effort, your persistence, even when things get tough.
And pursuing such audacious goals can have a ripple effect. It can inspire others around you to raise their own sights, take bigger action themselves.
Okay, but downsides here too. Focusing only on massive action with these huge 10X goals.
Well, yeah, the sheer size of a 10X goal can sometimes just feel overwhelming.
Leading to procrastination or feeling perpetually inadequate.
Could be. It's crucial to break those massive goals down into smaller, manageable steps. Massive action still needs to be directed, strategic, not just chaos.
And there's the risk of ignoring those smaller, important steps along the way if you're only focused on the giant end goal.
Right, and also feeling like a failure if you don't hit that monumental target, even if you've made huge progress.
Yeah, gotta recognize and celebrate the milestones.
Definitely. Think of a student aiming for 100% in everything versus, say, improving their grades significantly. The 100% goal might drive massive study habits, extra practice.
But needs careful management to avoid burnout or disappointment.
Exactly.
Okay, finally, let's touch on this idea of avoiding just normal levels of action. Cardone talks about this too.
Yeah, the basic principle is average effort usually gets you average results. Kind of makes sense, right?
Stands to reason.
So to achieve extraordinary outcomes, you need to consistently operate beyond what's typical or comfortable in your field.
Like planting way more seeds than just a few if you want an overflowing garden, not just a couple of flowers.
Good one. Or think of two similar businesses. The one that consistently goes the extra mile. Customer service, marketing, innovation.
That one's far more likely to achieve exceptional success. They stand out from the crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by consistently exceeding those normal expectations, you naturally differentiate yourself. You capture more opportunities. That increased visibility and effort often lead to a compounding effect. More and more opportunities over time, bigger rewards.
But risks of always taking massive action, always going beyond normal, can you overdo it?
Sure. It's crucial to recognize that constantly operating at this extreme level,
Yeah.
well, it requires careful management. Ignoring the value of rest and planning, that's a risk.
Burnout again. Or missing important details by moving too fast.
Yeah, that too. Failing to build a solid foundation because you're just rushing ahead. Sometimes a more measured pace is actually smarter, strategically.
And depending on the context, maybe scaring people away. Too much intensity.
Could happen. Finding the right intensity level is key.
The contrast between two lemonade stands is a good example here. One just opens sometimes, basic setup.
Normal action, normal results, probably.
Versus one that's open daily, offers variety, have decorations, maybe even delivery. That's extensive action.
And likely gets far bigger rewards. Stands out.
Okay, so bringing it all together. For our listener, how can they practically make massive action their superpower, so to speak?
Well, like we discussed, it starts with setting clear, big goals. Maybe even 10x goals.
Then create a plan, even if it evolves.
Absolutely. And then the core of it, take a lot of action. Significantly more than usual. Every day. Consistently.
Be persistent. Don't give up easily.
Learn from your mistakes and successes. Stay positive.
Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Continuously improve. Always look for ways to get better.
Focus on providing value in whatever you're doing.
And fundamentally, you have to believe in yourself and your goals. That belief fuels the action.
Right. And to really see this in action, let's talk about Tony's story.
Yeah, Tony. He had this eco-friendly backpack, great idea, but sales were poor.
Why? Limited effort, discouraged by early rejections? Sounds familiar.
Exactly. But then he discovered massive action and decided to just go all in, across the whole business.
Okay, so internally, what did he do?
Well, product improvement first. He sought feedback from 10 times more people.
Wow. Must have been overwhelming at first.
Probably. But the benefit was diverse ideas. It led to adding more pockets, for example, which customers loved. Big win.
And his own skills.
Massive action in learning sales, reading books, watching videos like Cardone stuff, practicing his pitch relentlessly.
And that paid off.
Big time. New techniques, way more confidence, higher closing rate.
What about his team keeping them going?
Daily, high-energy team meetings. Sharing inspiring stories, reinforcing goals, kept the team positive and persistent, even if the meetings felt a bit long sometimes.
Communication was key too, I bet.
Yeah, daily updates on progress, sharing customer testimonials, kept everyone informed, connected, maybe a few too many emails, but it worked.
And process improvement. Did he look at operations?
Oh, yeah. Mapped out and analyzed the whole order process. Took massive action to streamline it, like packaging. Result, faster delivery, happier customers. Required effort, but paid off.
Okay, that's internal. What about externally, facing the market?
Huge increase in customer outreach. He committed to talking to at least 50 potential customers every day.
50? That's massive. More rejection, surely.
Way more rejection, but also a much wider reach. He set up booths at basically all the local events.
And marketing. Just one strategy.
No way. Tried many different strategies all at once. Massive action to figure out what worked. Some money wasted, sure, but he found a really successful social media campaign that way.
Handling objections, that's crucial in sales.
He prepared and practiced answers for all possible concerns. Price, features, everything. Boosted his confidence, helped turn no's into yes by highlighting durability, the eco-friendliness.
Did he look at competitors?
The thorough research, all competitors. Again, maybe overwhelming initially, but it helped him identify his unique selling points.
Yeah.
Like really leaning into the eco-friendly aspect as a differentiator.
And follow-up. Can't forget that.
Nope. Created a system for multiple follow-ups. Friendly emails, calls, knew it often takes multiple touches. Close more sales, though maybe risked annoying a few people.
So Tony's story really highlights that persistence, the continuous learning.
Absolutely. Unwavering persistence, commitment to learning and adapting.
And through this consistent, comprehensive application of massive action.
He turned that struggling startup into a financial giant. A huge success.
Wow. It really brings those key takeaways to life, doesn't it?
It does. Set clear and big goals. Create a plan. Take a lot of action every day. Be persistent. Learn from mistakes and wins. Stay positive. Ask for help. Continuously improve. Focus on value. Believe in yourself.
All those points we discussed embodied in his journey.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, Tony's experience really underscores how massive action can be a total game changer. Overcoming challenges, achieving huge goals, business, personal life. It applies.
Yeah, definitely powerful stuff. And on that note, our final thought for you listening is this. Consider one specific area of your life, or maybe a current goal you're working towards right now. What would truly embodying massive action look like for you in that context?
Interesting question.
And maybe more importantly, what's one concrete step, even a small one, you could take today that represents a significant leap beyond your usual approach?
Going beyond normal action just for today.
Exactly. We encourage you to explore that possibility, see what happens, witness the potential impact. Think about those moments when a seemingly impossible goal actually gets achieved. It's rarely a slow, gentle climb, is it?
No, definitely not. It
Yeah.
often feels more like an all-out surge of activity.
Exactly. And today, we're plunging into that very idea. Massive action.
Hmm.
Imagine trying to build a tower so tall it scrapes the sky. You wouldn't get there by placing one block a day.
Not a chance. You'd need, well, a relentless, almost overwhelming influx of bricks.
Laid with intention, too. That's the essence we're going to unpack.
Yeah, and you've flagged some really interesting material that dives into this, particularly how this concept of just uh, doing a lot can be the key.
Especially when facing obstacles like in sales, which we'll get to.
Right. And for listeners keen on getting to the heart of things quickly, this deep dive should really give a powerful understanding, how sheer volume of focused effort can drive remarkable results.
So let's get straight to it. What is massive action, really? Beyond just, working hard.
Okay, yeah, let's break that down. It's not just putting in more hours. It's about a disproportionate level of action
Disproportionate, I'd like that.
and consistently applied towards your goals.
It's like trying to learn a language, maybe. An hour a week on an app. Okay, you'll learn some words,
Sure, some basics.
but real fluency, that comes from immersing yourself daily, right? Speaking whenever you can, actively engaging in a big way.
That daily, intense engagement, that's the spirit of massive action.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is why this approach can be so effective. It's not just more shots on goal means more scores statistically.
Right, it's more than just probability. The sheer volume of action often creates, unforeseen opportunities.
Unforeseen opportunities, how so?
Think of it like a